Get married or get fired. That's what a Chinese chemical manufacturing company said in a memo to its employees aged between 28 and 58, giving them 6 months to tie the knot or else. They were informed that if they didn't get married and establish a family by the third quarter, the company would terminate their contracts.
Here's your early morning reminder that women in their 30s are being loud online and are anti-male, not because they hate men, but they want to convince 22 to 25-year-old women to hate men, because women know they have to compete with younger women for dates. And if they can convince the younger generation to hate men, then they can remove them from the dating pool, and then these old heads might still have a chance.
Literally, she says, I got a good job, I make very, very good money, and she says, the only thing I need now is a man. It's like, yo, it's like, who wants you? Who wants you? You're right. Like, once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh. Fellas, it's time to stop hiding behind nostalgia and bad faith arguments. Y'all love to romanticize the past, talking about how women back in the day held their men down, stayed loyal, and never left. But let's be real. Do you actually know the full story? Or are you just parroting the fairy tale version that was passed down to you? See? Your grandfather's sins were swept under the rug. Your grandmother suffered in silence. And depending on when your mother came up, she probably shielded you from the ugly truth too. Y'all brag about how marriages lasted longer back then, like it was some kind of golden era of love and commitment. Nah, the real reason those marriages didn't end, because women weren't allowed to leave, legally, financially, or socially. Put yourself in those women's shoes. Imagine if your husband had multiple kids across town, but you had no legal way out. Imagine him bringing home an incurable STD, and you couldn't leave. Couldn't even open a bank account to escape. Imagine finding out about the affairs, the outside babies, the gambling debts, the abuse, but having no resources, no credit, and no options. You had to stay. And let's talk about why grandma and grandpa slept in separate bedrooms. Y'all thought it was just old school love? Nah. Grandma probably got tired of the cheating, tired of the disrespect, tired of laying next to a man she resented but couldn't escape from. Some of y'all's grandfathers had whole secret families. And y'all chalk it up to, that's how things were back then. Let's take it even deeper. The Equal Credit Opportunity Act wasn't passed till 1974. You know what that means? Before then, women couldn't even get a checking account, a business loan, a credit card, or a car loan without a man's approval. So when your great-grandmother told her daughters, get an education, make your own money, never depend on a man, she wasn't promoting feminism. She was trying to prevent them from being trapped the way she was. And yet here y'all are in 2025, still crying on the internet about modern women having standards, still crying on podcasts about how women don't submit anymore. Let's call it what it really is. Y'all don't miss traditional women. You miss unchecked male privilege. You miss a time when men could cheat, manipulate, and abandon their families without consequence. When women had no choice but to stay silent, endure it, and hold the family together. Because society gave them no other option. Some of y'all are mad at modern women, but the real issue is that men in your family failed you, and women cover for them. You were raised to believe in a version of masculinity that never required accountability. You were never taught how to be a good man, only how to be entitled to a woman's loyalty, no matter how poorly you treated her. So before you hop in another comment section talking about women don't build with men anymore, ask yourself, would you have wanted your mother or your grandmother to stay with a man like your grandfather? Exactly. Now sit with that. And remember, ladies, accept nothing less than queen treatment.
He's right. A lot of men don't actually miss traditional women. They miss a time when their power and control went unquestioned. Modern men are romanticizing the past, not because women were happier or they treated women better, but because they understand that women had less rights, fewer choices, and they were being forced to stay in a position, a situation that wasn't conducive. They had no way out, no escape route, and this is what these men are longing and yearning for. They always talk about the past because in the past, they were able to get away with doing the bare minimum and still get catered for. Unfortunately for modern men, modern women are not willing to break their backs the way our mothers did. We're not willing to take BS from men. We've increased the bar. The standard has gone up. If you can't meet it, then get out. A lot of men are struggling to come to terms with this. Women independence has made it so difficult for men to feel entitled to women's labor, women's body, as they used to, their parents, their forefathers, their grandfathers used to do to women in the past. Let's have a look at the comment section. We have some interesting stories down there. Yeah, my granny went through it, but after raising 6 kids, divorced my grandpa. She started college at 40, got her master's in education and taught special needs kids for 30 years. I wished she opened up her heart to allow a good man to love her, but the trauma from my grandpa made her never date again. She lived a fully lovely life for 94 years, and I'm grateful to be her legacy. Let's not forget grandma was probably 15 when she married your 20 to 30 years old grandpa. My great grandmother was married to a man that was beating her. She had 4 kids with him. She was a maid and saved all her money and built a new home for her and her children. One day when she was finished, when she couldn't take the beating anymore, she packed up her children and moved them without him. On her maid salary, she sent 2 kids to the university. At the same time, the others picked a different path. She is one of the strongest, baddest, faith-filled, generous, forward-thinking women. She died the day after I defended my master's degree thesis, and I dedicated it to her. I love her with my whole heart for being brave for her family and her legacy. She crawled on hotel floors so I could run in science and government spaces. She is my inspiration.
Get married or get fired. That's what a Chinese chemical manufacturing company said in a memo to its employees aged between 28 and 58, giving them 6 months to tie the knot or else. They were informed that if they didn't get married and establish a family by the 3rd quarter, the company would terminate their contracts. They also called employees who are unmarried disloyal to the country. It's a stark turnaround from China's decades-long one-child policy, which has created an ageing population. Authorities are now trying to increase marriage and birth rates and are considering lowering the legal marriage age to 18. It's currently 22 for men and 20 for women. Women have also been subjected to intrusive phone calls from public officials asking on when they plan to get pregnant. This particular company withdrew the policy after legal concerns and an extensive public backlash, but the broader push for people to get hitched remains.
In China, the young population is rapidly declining due to some policies that was made in the past just to curb overpopulation. Currently, the population of the older people are more than the younger people, and you know what that means? The workforce is being affected. So the government, the billionaires, the company owners are concerned about the workforce, and women are the ones that are expected to save the country, to save the population, because we have the reproduction ability. We have that power to bring life into this world. Capitalism is just concerned about the population, because the lesser the workforce, the lesser the profit they make. Let's have a look at the comment section. Stay strong, ladies. We will not be the baby factories anymore. I'm really deeply worried for us. All women around the world. Is going to be worse. Please take care of yourself. If you need to leave the oppressive country, do so. Leave us alone. We don't want to sacrifice ourselves for nothing. Pregnancy is not easy. Childbirth is not easy. Women lose their organs in the process. Women die in the process. Not all women, but a good number of women do. And like I said in the video I made some couple of days ago on pregnancy, the society intentionally doesn't talk about the struggles that comes with pregnancy and childbirth. They don't talk about it because they don't want to scare women away. Rather, they focus on glamorizing it so that more women can accept pregnancy and reproduce. Us women collectively need to protect each other now. It's bad. Where should we all move? Buy an island, a bankruptcy declared city, or build from scratch in the desert or ocean? I don't know. What should we do? If women get married early, they won't have a chance to discover what they want in life and realize they probably won't want kids or marriage. I'm single and childless at 30, but used to want that at 18, and I'm so happy that I don't. I would have been miserable. Women don't live in an environment that makes them want to have kids. It's basic biology. If there's limited resources, why would they want to have kids? The government is not thinking about that, honestly. The government is not thinking about the struggles. The government is not thinking about educating men and telling men to behave better. The government is not looking into why women are not wanting to have kids anymore. The government is not looking into why women are not wanting to get married anymore. But no, they are shifting the blame on women and refusing to tell men to be accountable for their wrongdoings. Anything but making birth worth it. Why would women want to birth children when they will be expected to care for them alone, not earn money, and be subjected to men who will use and abuse them? That's what I'm saying. The government is not looking into all these areas. These are part of the reasons why women are choosing not to have kids. Women are choosing to be single. The government is not concerned about that. They are focused on forcing women, blaming women, and making sure women have kids to increase the population so that capitalism can make more profit. What a selfish world.
Literally, she says, I got a good job. I make very, very good money. And she says, the only thing I need now is a man. It's like, yo, it's like, who wants you? Who wants you? You're right. Like, once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh,
and
shit.
And what it is these, and this is the thing. I'm not blaming
the women are gonna hate him for that shit. They're gonna hate him for that. I can't wait to put this shit out.
Number one, what does it mean for us to have all these conversations about what do you bring to the table? The woman say she bring everything and you say, I don't want you no more. What does it mean? Number two, women exceeding expectations and being all they can be is not a negation of your manhood or masculinity. If you feel that way, it is show that your shit is fragile. Number three, as a college professor, you know that studies show that female college students will literally dim their light in order to appeal to their male counterparts because they recognize that men's fragile masculinity will make you where, man, I don't get to feel like a man if you know more than me, head ass. Number four, y'all make all dudes with podcasts look like some misogynistic. And speaking of suckers, that takes me to number five, man. What y'all just seen was an illustration of sucker solidarity where you have grown men trying to appeal to other suckers by demeaning women. Sucker solidarity. Number six, y'all want to go back to the past so bad because how dare a woman be high achieving? You want to go back to the times when women had to have a man to have a bank account and have a house and pay bills, huh?
Imagine knowing the man that thinks this way. This explains why men always want to date down. They date down because they want a woman they can control. It's a struggle for a man to date a woman that is on the same level as he is financially. Because money gives power, and when a woman has money, it gives her power, and it makes it difficult for men to ride her. It makes it difficult for men to want to control her. You know, when you have money, you have access to resources that can help you in a situation. A lot of men just want women for what women can do for them. They want women as slaves, as sex tools. So imagine you having money and not wanting to serve a man. That is going to be a big problem to that man. So if you have money, you wouldn't want to do the man's bidding. But if you don't have money, you will be forced to do his bidding because you need to feed, you need to survive. This is the logic. So they would rather go for a woman that they are better off financially and otherwise, so they can easily, effortlessly control that woman with their resources.
Here's your early morning reminder that women in their 30s are being loud online and are anti-male, not because they hate men, but they want to convince 22 to 25-year-old women to hate men, because women know they have to compete with younger women for dates. And if they can convince the younger generation to hate men, then they can remove them from the dating pool, and then these old heads might still have a chance.
Do you know any woman in her 30s that has got time for such a childish game? Because it is a childish game. Men must think they are that important to women. They must think they are the prize for grown women to fight over them, for grown women to go that length just to win a man. I know some women do fight over men. We've heard stories of women pouring acid on their fellow women because of men. Those are exceptions. Generally, women have better things to do with their time, especially when they are 30 years and above. Cool things I learned getting a degree in bio and psych. Men are attracted to more fertile women, younger women, and women are attracted to financially stable men, older men. This took millions of years. No, we weren't competing. We were warning younger women of the scams and predatory behavior that older men do to women. I'm in a wonderful relationship with a man and still warn women of men. No, sir, we are also telling it to our daughters because we care that they don't make the same mistake. We are not in competition. It's crazy for men to think women are in competition with younger women. That is an absurd way to think, honestly. Are they saying that we women, we don't know what to do with our time than to sit back and think about men? That is what a lot of men do, especially when men come together, when they sit together and discuss. Most of the time, women are the topic they discuss. A lot of men can't live, can't survive, can't do things without women or without bringing women into the picture. So I understand if you think we women do the same. I'm not saying that women don't discuss men. Some women do, but not all women the way men think. Like the commenters already said, older women are more concerned of the dangers that men bring to women. So because of that, they are more eager to advise younger women rather than compete with younger women for men's attention. I'm in my 20s and have seen the 30s and what they have gone through, and it's their experience teaching us what not to tolerate and please date age mate. I'm only 23, but I'm not eager to date because there is no convincing needed. Men prove those so-called old women right. They are not conscious of it themselves. For them, it's just a feeling, and they reverse reason to justify that feeling. Some Gen Zs are refusing to get into relationships, and some millennials are refusing to get married because of what they've seen married people go through, what they've seen married women suffer in the hands of wrong men in marriages and even relationships. Men should focus on doing better. They should focus on being better husbands, better spouse, better partners, rather than focusing on whether, are they competing? Are we not competing? What is the dating pool like? No, you should be asking yourself, why are women not wanting to date us? What are we doing wrong? Who are those men putting us in a bad light? Who are those men? Let's talk to them. Let's talk some senses into them. Let's go after those podcasters that are trying to bring women down. That should be the focus. But no, they would rather shift blames and blame women for reacting to their bad behavior. That is not true. I got married at 19. Biggest mistake ever. Trying to save younger ladies, my daughters, to not do the same mistake. No, because we were 21-year-old women who were targeted by men in their 30s, and when we were older, we realized they wanted us because we were easier to abuse because we didn't know better. Or maybe women in their 30s are just older, wiser, and learned a few lessons, so they're trying to tell the younger version of them to watch out. That's all. And that's basically what older women are doing.
If you're a woman who is economically finished, you are economically vulnerable, you don't have anything to your name, watch this video till the end. A lot of people are going to argue with what I'm about to say, but this is based on fact and statistics. Now, if when you were single as a woman, you had a functional business, you were economically useful to yourself and even to the people around you, but now that you are married, you've lost everything. Your business has crashed. You have nothing to your name. It's either you are the problem or you married a slave master. A lot of men, they would prefer that you are nothing when it comes to economy or money, because that's the only way they can control you. So when they want to deal with you, you don't have any resources, you don't have any economic spine to make decisions that would serve your own interest. This idea that a man is a provider is the reason why many of you women are broke, busted, and you have nothing to your name. Because it is important for you as a woman to have your own money. Yes, a man is a provider doesn't mean that you should be economically useless. Have your own money. I remember dating this very, very well-to-do lady who was earning in millions every month. And she was telling me, okay, all this, your emotional things that you bring to the table. I want us to be saving our money. I'll be giving you all my money. I said, keep your money to yourself. I don't need you to keep your money with me. It's a fact. Keep your money, I keep my money. Because it's very important for you to have your own money. Not all men are going to treat you like that. Some husbands don't think that their wives deserve anything good independent of them. So they want to keep you as a slave. To them, marriage is a prison and you are meant to be their prisoner. Some of you had shops. I know women who had shops and businesses before they got married. Gone. Everything. Consciously, unconsciously, intentionally or not, your husband has made sure that you have nothing. You know, many times people tell me about their marriage and I'm like, I counsel people. And from the story they have told me, I just know that this marriage is headed to the rocks. There's nothing like, but I'm not the one. No be me go tell you, say, make you leave your marriage. But I just know that based on this story, this marriage cannot work. You know, marriage does not mean that you should not cultivate your personal economy. Any man that wants to keep you incapacitated economically, the world has changed. Forget about the 19th, 18th century. Any man that wants to keep economically incapacitated is a narcissist and he's going to punish you in future. So don't put yourself in a situation where if you have to leave a marriage, then you are too broke to fund your separation. There are many women right now, because you want to leave, you don't have the resources to fund, your separation, then you now join 7 a.m. prayer money. Oh God, my marriage is in your hand. Self-sabotage. You are fooling yourself. It's a fact. You are praying about a marriage you know that will never work. It's because you don't have money. Better go pray. Better change your prayer points and let your brain start working so that you can become economically useful and productive to yourself. Any man who is threatened by this message, threatened by a woman cultivating her personal economic power, is a tormentor. And you should start working your way out, So they are going to argue with this message. But I'm just telling you, ladies, it is very important for you to have your own money. Except you are in no future ambition. Those are the people who, even if a man keeps them, in the home and they are economically useless, they don't mind because they don't have any ambition anyways. But you are not one of them.
If you'd love to watch more videos like this, click this video to watch the story of a man that kicked out his heavily pregnant wife. He gave her 30 days to leave the house. And I will see you all in another one.